What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team FISHKNUCKLES YouTube channel. Today's Rogue Tuesday, and during the World Championship, there was actually a very surprising deck outside of the Glow Spot Garbodor deck that we saw get second place. And this is actually piloted by Taku Yaneda. In my mind, he's probably one of the best Japanese players out there currently playing Pokemon at this time, and he piloted a Ho-Oh GX Salazzle-GX Volcanion deck, and yeah, Ho-Oh GX, a card that we really haven't seen too much, and we see Yaneda, piloted. Unfortunately, he got 9th place. So the way it works in Pokemon, I think 6th through 9th all had the same amount of points to get into cut, but unfortunately his opponent's resistance, which is how good your opponents do, unfortunately was lower, and it got him 9th seed. So if one of his opponents would have won one of his matches, he might have been in top 8, and who knows, Yaneda could have won with this very interesting Ho-Oh GX deck. But let's look at it today, and it's just a really cool concept. So you have the Ho-Oh GX, it has 190 HP, and what we're really going to focus on is on this Phoenix Burn attack. It does 180 damage, and this Pokemon can't use Phoenix Burn during your next turn. Alright, now it does have Seeker Fire. You do 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and you have Eternal Flame, which we're really not going to focus on, but put 3 in any combination of Fire Pokemon or Fire Pokemon EX from your discard pile onto your bench, or Fire Pokemon GX or EX, sorry. So you can get 3 GX or EX out of your discard pile, put them on your bench. It could be good if a bunch of Volcanions and Turtonators and Ho-Ohs get knocked out. You could get it back with Eternal Flame, but what we're going to focus really heavily on is on that Phoenix Burn. Now, it does need 4 Fire Energies. We know Volcanion-EX, it needs 3 Fire Energies, and that was hard to set up. You use Baby Volcanion, you use Power Heater, you use Max Elixirs, but Yaneda instead is going to focus really heavily on this new card, Kiawe, and he's going to use it to search deck for 4 Fire Energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So the game plan is Kiawe turn 1 onto a Ho-Oh GX and start swinging turn 2 using that Phoenix Burn and start taking knockouts, and obviously it worked fantastically because he did get 9th place. So other cards in his deck, he plays a 2/2 Salazzle-GX, because what you could do is you could use that Diabolical Claws. This attack does 50 damage for each prize card you have taken. Now, what you could do is once you get a Ho-Oh GX start paired up, you can start putting energies on a Salandit. And as soon as you have 1 energy on a Salandit, you're threatening a Salazzle Diabolical Claws because it only needs 2 Fire Energy and it's an evolution card. So that's really, really something cool to look into for sure. It plays the 1 Turtonator-GX, mainly for the Nitro Tank GX, attach 5 energies from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. But you also have Bright Flame that could do 160 and Shell Trap for 20, which is really nice. Alright, so you still got 1 Baby Volcanion for the Power Heater, get Fire Energies out, and to help against decks that have like EX and GX hate. 3 Lele, we're trying to get that turn 1 Kiawe, which is going to be very, very useful to pull it off thanks to the Wonder Tag. He's still playing 1 Shaymin to help set up, and 1 Sudowoodo to help you out against Mega Rayquaza. We actually saw this come into play when he played against Ross and Swiss. He would use Sudowoodo, shut down Mega Rayquaza, and kind of just take it from there. And of course, 2 Volcanions. You still need the Steam Up, and Volcanion Heat is not a bad attack as well. It could be a good backup attacker. Because remember, once Ho-Oh attacks, you can't use Phoenix Burn again unless you switch or Guzma and retreat back into it. You have to get Ho-Oh to the bench and then back into the active spot, or you just have another attacker like Volcanion or Turtonator, and then of course you can take the last prize card with Salazzle-GX. So we're still playing 2 Max Elixir, even though we're playing 3 Kiawe. He still wants a Max Elixir to try to get those backup attackers, because what you could do is Fire Energy, Max Elixir, and the Kiawe, and then you have 2 attackers basically ready to go. 2 Super Rod, which is still, it's really good to get back your Salazzles and mainly your Fire Energies as well. You're going to notice there's no Energieval, no Fishman. If the Super Rod will get back your Fire Energies. 2 Switch, because we need to get, Ho out of the active. We need to send it back up and attack again. A Switch will help us activate that Phoenix Burn attack over and over again. We have the 4 Ultra Ball and the 3 VS Seeker. Now, 3 VS Seeker is fine. He's playing a very high count of like Guzmas and Kiawes. If you want a 4th VS Seeker, you can cut a Guzma for a VS Seeker, but still that's perfectly fine. So 3 Guzma, 3 Kiawe, 2 N, and 4 Sycamore. Now he's still playing 4 Choice Band, which might seem pretty crazy, but it's really, really good because with this and with Choice Band and Volcanion and with Choice Band and Steam Ups, you can start taking knockouts of cards like on Mega Gardevoir, which is with just 1. So Ho can start taking knockouts on those. You do put 4 energies on Ho GX, so I imagine like Gardevoir's having a field day because it's doing base 120, and it's kind of easy to knock out. You do have 190 HP, which is a very interesting number because they need 6 to hit 180, but then I don't know, just choice band, whatever can help to knock it out. I didn't see Uneda play against Gardevoir, but he got 9th place, so I imagine he did fairly well against those decks. Or he knew how to take down those decks. We saw the one Float Stone because you need to, if you Guzma, then Float Stone. If you Guzma, send us with Float Stone and treat, then you can start taking a knockout Phoenix Burn and 14 energy. And I like these energy because it has a Ho-Oh GX it has a Ho-Oh in the background of it, so it's pretty cool. They have the Ho-Oh energies with the Ho-Oh GX deck, and there we go. Uneda kind of, I would say, made a surprise play. A deck that we really did not expect. Like we know Volcanion was a good deck, but we did not really expect the deck to base out of the Ho-Oh GX, just because it does make it where you can't attack again during your next turn. But Uneda proven, hey, that doesn't matter. I'm going to switch, I'm going to Guzma, I'm going to retreat, I'm going to find ways to start attacking with Ho-Oh GX over and over again. And that is what Uneda did this weekend. But guys, there we go. There's Road Tuesday's video for the Ho-Oh GX deck, and I'm excited to play this deck and see how does it really work. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, so putting this camera phone, maybe we're playing a Darkrai deck? Yeah, there's Darkrai Psychic, so I think Darkrai's a fine matchup for us. We're both pretty fast, but we have the turn 1 Kiawe, we get energies on our Ho-Oh, we can start taking knockouts, so I think we're going to be fine here. So we get a Ho-Oh, we get an Ultra Ball, Max Elixir, okay, so the Ultra Ball, it can get us a Tapu Lele. The only problem is we don't have another supporter card for the next turn. We do have the Guzma, stuff like that, so there's a Lele start for our opponent, which is good for us, okay? And the question is, Sophocles. Alright, discard 2 cards, discard the Darkrai and Energy, draw 4. I forget what that card did for a second. We hardly see that card being played, so that's very interesting to always see it coming down, okay? And we see the Salazzle in our hand, which we use to pick up some late game knockouts, like I said earlier. There's a Darkrai coming down with a Dark Energy, okay. A Dark Energy to the Darkrai. And if he has a way to maybe affect us by a special condition, he could probably go for a knockout next turn. So on to our turn, we get a Choice Band. Okay, so I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard the Guzma. And I hate to discard the Salazzle, but everything in our... We either get the Max Elixir or the Salazzle. I'm going to get rid of the Max Elixir. I'm going to keep the Salazzle because I don't know what's left in our deck. And I am going to grab the Lele and just go for turn 1 Kiawe. Like I said, the main problem is it can make it where we cannot take a... We don't have a supporter card next turn. So a Lele for the Kiawe, but I think going for Kiawe right now is the correct play. Just getting those energies turn 1 is going to be fantastic. So we'll get that Kiawe. We will use it. I didn't even touch energy. Should have put an energy on the Lele. Alright, so 4 energy going to the active onto our opponent's turn. What we can do next turn is via Seeker for Guzma, bring up that Darkrai, attach a Fighter G, retreat, and take a knockout. I meant to attach a Fighter G last turn, but obviously mistakes were made right there. That was pretty crucial, not attaching energy. Just kind of getting excited, saw the Kiawe. But here's a Max Elixir, gonna find energy for that Darkrai. And the big moment of truth, does he have a way to affect his by a special condition? If he does, we're going to be knocked out here. So does he have some way to affect us by special condition? So we see Ultra Ball, maybe get like a Viper. He's playing that, so discards a Sycamore and a Dark Energy, okay. And there's another Darkrai, okay. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. He's only doing 60 right now. There's another Darkrai come down, okay. There's a Sycamore going to discard his hand, drawing 70 cards. Discards a Super Rod, which is really good for us because we do have the Guzma play to knock out the benched Darkrai GX. The only problem is he's going to get all those energies back into his hand. Or not back in his hand. He'll be able to get a Darkrai back out with energy, but I think taking out the Darkrai with 3 energies is correct play. So Dark Energy on that guy. What do we got after this Darkrai? This is the one that's actually going to attack us. So there's an Altar of the Moon coming out, okay. And a pass onto our turn. And we get a Lele, which is really good for the following turn. So I'm going to via Seeker for a Guzma. And I think let's see. So we take a knockout here. He can Resurrection, get it back out. I think right now what we're going to do is take out the real attacker. And the real attacker is this Darkrai. So put a Fighter G in this guy. We will retreat into the Ho-Oh GX. And we're just going to take a knockout right now. I think this is the correct play. Just getting rid of his real attacker. Because this guy, he only does 130 unless he does have that special condition that he can use to win the game. So Kiawe and Super Rod. We can at least Super Rod 1 Fighter G back in our deck. And we get Lele for probably a Sycamore. Just discard our hand, draw on 7 new cards. Alright, so Darkrai GX will come up to the X spot. We see a Missy's Determination. Going to discard his hand. Look at the top 8 and find a card and put it in his hand. Now, with Missy's Determination, he did discard a Darkrai GX, so he can use that Restoration ability. I think that says Resurrection. But the Darkrai will come down. We see a Restoration. They're going to get a Dark Energy on that guy for sure. And, yeah. We'll see what we will do from here. I'm going to Lele for a Sycamore, most likely. I'm going to Super Rod to get a Fighter G back in the deck. Then we see a Fighter G going to Darkrai EX. And they receive a Dark Cleave for 130 damage. Alright, so on our turn, what do we find? We find a switch. Oh, baby. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is switch into the Tapu Lele. I am going to put down another Tapu Lele, use the Wonder Tag to search for a supporter card, and right now we are going to grab a Sycamore. Alright, so grab a Sycamore, just look through our deck. We do have the other switch in here. Looks like Float Stone is prized. But what I'm trying to do next turn is, or this turn, is find a Salandit and a Max Elixir and get ready to set up for that Salazzle-GX. So we'll get a Sycamore, put that in our hand. We will Super Rod to shuffle the Fighter G back into our deck. And we will just Sycamore, discard our hand, draw on 7 new cards. Let's see, what do we find here? We find a G and a switch. Alright, so... I'm going to put down the Volcanion. I'm going to put a Fighter G on it. Put down the Volcanion-EX. Switch into the Ho-Oh GX. And I'm just going to take a knockout here going down to... I'm just going to go to 2 prize cards. Seems pretty good. Alright, so do it 180. Maybe I should have put a Fighter G on the bench, Volcanion-EX. It does threaten a knockout next turn if we do find a Max Elixir or some other stuff. But here comes the Darkrai GX. As long as his Dark Energy, he'll be okay. He'll be able to take a knockout. But we do have the Kiawe to gain Energy's own this Volcanion-EX. If we want to go that route, we see a Dark Energy go to the active. We see a Restoration. Going to get the Dark Energy out into the field. Not a bad play at all. There's an end, so we'll get 2, he gets 6. We really haven't used too many supporter cards, so that's good. We do have multiple Sycamores left, multiple VS Seekers, and there's a Fighter G and a Salazzle-GX, so that's not what we really want to see. We see Evital coming down, and, uh-oh, now we're back on the back, we're on the backfield now. He is going to take a knockout going down to 4. But we will have that power heater for 20 to get a Fighter G on the Volcanion, but we need a supporter card because we need Volcanion to pick up a knockout here. We see a Nest Ball. Maybe should I put down I don't know. Never mind. A Ringaroo coming down. Don't worry about it. Alright, so there we see Dark Pulse for the knockout. I mean, I should what I was thinking is maybe I should bet on the Sudowoodo. Sorry, that's what I was thinking. Alright, so go down to 4. We're sending the Volcanion. On our turn, what do we find? We find a Ultra Ball. Alright, so I'm going to Ultra Ball here. Discarding the Fire and the Salazzle. Okay, we can grab a Shaymin here. We can grab a Lele. I think I'm going to grab a Lele here and just go for it and try to see what we can get with this Lele. So grab a Lele. We'll put it down. We'll search for supporter card. We have 3 Leles on the field, but I think we're still going to be good here. We'll grab a Sycamore, go and discard our hand, draw on 7 new cards, and all we're really looking for is some Max Elixirs, maybe some Energies, and just trying to get another Ho-Oh GX powered up. So we see Sycamore, going to play, going to discard our hand and draw on 7 new cards. We find a Float Stone, a Ho-Oh, and a Max Elixir. So put down the Ho-Oh GX. We will Max Elixir, look at top cards of our deck. We'll put a Fighter G on the Ho-Oh. We'll put a Fighter G. 3. Okay. We have an option here. We can put a Fighter G on the Ho-Oh GX, and then Power Heater, get energies on both these guys, and just trying to win the next turn with Phoenix Burn, which I think is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put a Fighter G in the active. I'm going to use that Power Heater attack to get a Fighter G on both of these guys, and put 1 here and 1 here. But next turn, if we find a Fighter G, we'll be able to use that Phoenix Burn for a knockout. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's only do 100. It'd be really hard for him to take a knockout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's doing 100, so he needs a bunch of energies. He needs, what, 5 more? There's a Max Elixir, okay. With some energies, a Choice Band could do it as well. So we see a Max Elixir, going to put a Dark Energy on that Evital. He might go for an Oblivion here, which is not a bad play at all. It will just give us more turns of power up like a Volcanion. So we see you retreat into the Evital, and we are going to see an Oblivion for 30. But we will have another turn to get more Fire Energies in play. Get one of the Ho-Oh and one on the Volcanion. So we see a Choice Band going down to Darkrai EX, okay. There's a Float Stone going to the Evital. And does he have like an N or something? There's an N. We go down to 2. He gets 4, but we really don't care about this. The 2 cards that can win us the game is a Guzma and a Fire Energy, but we do not hit that. We do have a Sycamore in our hand. We see a Dark Energy going down to Darkrai GX. And we'll see a Oblivion for 30 damage. Alrighty, so on our turn, we're definitely just going to play Sycamore, just discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. On to our turn, what do we top deck? We get a Float Stone. Someone Float Stone the active, play a Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards, and what do we find? Well, we find a Fire Energy, which is all we really need right now. So we'll put a Fire Energy on the Volcanion. I kind of want to save the Fire Energy. But we could steam up and do more damage, but I don't think that's really worth it. I want to save it for the next turn. So right now I'm just going to Power Heater for 20 damage, put a Fire Energy on 1 and 2. Alright, there we go. Got 2 attackers ready to go. This attacker, he really can't take a knockout straight away. Well, no, yeah, he only does 150 right now. Alright, so, but what we're trying to do is attack with Ho-Oh GX. If we have a Guzma in the discard pile, so we can Guzma, bring up somebody. We see a Dark Energy, Darkrai GX, and if he plays another in here, there's a Max Elixir going to try to get another Dark Energy in play. He will be able to Ringaroo for 1. Going to put a Dark Energy on that Darkrai, okay. And there's a Guzma, gonna bring up our Ho-Oh GX, and he will take a knockout here, but if we find a Choice Band, we'll be able to take a knockout. He cannot use N. He's gonna struck for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 200 damage coming down right now, or 230 because of the Choice Band. Sorry about that, but we do have our own Choice Band, and as long as we find one of them, we'll be able to win the game this turn. So on our turn, what do we find? There's a Choice Band top deck, so put down the Choice Band. We will use the Steam Up, discarding a Fire Energy. We'll retreat and go with the good old, just regular Volcanion EX. But there we go. There's the Ho-Oh GX deck in action. We'll be able to Volcanion for 190 damage. Sorry, take a knockout and win the game. But we'll see another game with the Ho-Oh GX deck here in a second. It's just really cool to use turn with Kiawe and get those 4 energies on the Ho-Oh GX. It's just so much fun and just a really strong deck. I'm so glad Yaneda did bring this to the tournament and show the power of the Ho-Oh GX deck. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next game. Alright, so game number 2. Are we playing against a Volcanion Ho-Oh GX mirror match? Oh baby. Alright, so we won the coin flip, which is great. We can use that Kiawe turn 1, which is, yeah, well, that's what we want to do. We can't attack turn 1, but we can use that Kiawe. And alright, so we have it. We have the Ho-Oh GX. We got Ultra Ball, we discard Sycamore, whatever. Grab a Lele, get that turn 1, and we can start going for that Phoenix Burn. Now, once again, we are weak. I mean, not once again, but we are weak to Lightning, not Water, so Volcanion cannot take advantage of that. So, I'm going to Ultra Ball. I'm going to discard a Sycamore and the Salazzle-GX, okay. I'm going to grab me a good old Tapu Lele. Thought they were all prized for a second. We got the 2 Kiawes in there. Alright, so we're prized 1 Kiawe, but we'll put down the Volcanion, we'll put down the Lele, we'll use such a support card. I am going to make sure I play my energy first. So grab the Kiawe, put that into our hand. We'll put a Fire Energy on the bench, Volcanion-EX, and we'll go for that turn 1 Kiawe. Get 4 energies on the active, and there we go. Already looking fantastic from the start. On to our opponent's turn. I wonder if he's playing a Ho-Oh deck like us, or is he going for more of the Volcanion-EX route? So that's going to be a big question. But regardless, we got a Choice Band, put it on the bench. We got a Sycamore. If we find a Fire Energy, put it on the Volcanion, and start getting the Volcanion powered up. And this is just the power of Ho-Oh GX. But we see it in, we're both going to shuffle up and get 6 new cards. Neither one of us has taken a prize card just yet. So with the 6, we get another Ho-Oh, a Guzma. It's your boy. And there's a Brooklet Hill. Alright, so Brooklet Hill will get another Volcanion-EX out into the field, and there is the victory. I mean, what was going to happen is put a Fire Energy on the bench, we take a knockout, next turn we can maybe use Guzma plus the switch to take a knockout, and I mean, there you go. My opponent just not have anything, and that's just how good the deck is. With 3 Kiawes and everything like that, you're going to be able to find attacker ASAP. But we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second. Let's see our opponent's deck real quick, and it is... Oh, he does play 1 Ho-GX, but just playing the 1 while we play a lot more than that. And only 2 Kiawes, of course, play more than that. But he did play 4 Fighting Fear Belts, which have been somewhat interesting because the Volcanion has 180 HP, which gives it 220, and with the Ho-GX, we only do 210 with an attack off. So that'd be pretty interesting to see how that would have been. But there we go, turn 1 Kiawe, still super strong. We would have had a Volcanion ready to go, and we would have took that game for sure. But we'll see what happens in the next match. Hopefully we'll get the victory, and hopefully it's a real game. My opponent actually didn't play any baby Volcanions either, so we were pretty much taking a knockout of whoever wanted to, as long as he didn't find one of those Fighting Fear Belts. But we'll see what happens in the next game. Alright, guys. Alright, so into our last game, playing against Triple Double. Looks like you're playing another Volcanion deck. Okay, so heads like always. We won the coin flip, and there we go. Okay. The big question every time we start this game, do we find a Kiawe or not? And his hand is actually not a Kiawe hand, so we're going to see how this deck does play out when you don't get the turn 1 Kiawe. Alright, so we get 7 cards. We do, maybe 6 prize cards. We do have a Mulligan. So Mulligan number 1, Mulligan number 2, Mulligan number 3, Mulligan number... So 4 Mulligans. We're about to draw 4 extra cards here. Alright, so let's see. Hopefully we find a Ho-Oh and a Kiawe with these cards. So let's see. Yeah, yes to rest 4. Alright, so we find double Ultra Ball. So I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard a Sycamore and a Guzma. With this, I'm going to grab a Ho-Oh GX. That's pretty crazy to hate Mulligan that many times. So grab a Ho-Oh GX. We'll put that guy down. We'll Ultra Ball, discarding a Sycamore and a Fire Energy. I am going to grab a Tapu Lele. We're going to go for that turn 1 Kiawe. All those Mulligans have paid off. We'll put a Fire Energy in the active. Put down the Lele. Going to grab us a Kiawe. And we're going to start the party from here. So let's grab us Kiawe. Let's see what's in our deck real quick. How many switch cards? So we have both the switch. We do have the Float Stone. So this is a pretty good hand already. So let's grab that Kiawe. We'll play it and get 4 energies turn number 1. So a great number 1. Great start already. Alright, so 4 energies on the Ho-Oh GX and onto our opponent's turn. Alright, so we did discard a couple supporter cards, but that's fine. VS Seeker is still in the format, so we're still good to go from there. We do have a Fire Energy, a Sycamore, and I'll probably put the Choice Band on maybe the Ho-Oh GX. There's a Brooklyn Hill coming down, which is great for us. We can use it to thin our deck down, to find another Volcanion-EX, and just saying, hey, you know, I want to make sure I hit one of those Float Stones or switch cards to get the Volcanion-EX out of the active spot. And since he put down the Brooklyn Hill, what we can do is Brooklyn Hill for Volcanion and put a Choice Band on that guy. So we see a Fire Energy Volcanion, we see a Choice Band to the Volcanion, and we're going to see a Sycamore going to discard his hand, drawing 7 cards. Discards 2 VS Seekers and a Field Blower. He could have Field Blower right there to get rid of Brooklyn Hill, so we cannot use it. But we see a Volcanion come down, and does he find a Float Stone switch, an Escape Rope? Maybe not Escape Rope, because then we send up our Ho-Oh GX to take a knockout. Alright, so there we see an Ultra Ball. Going to discard 2 cards from his hand. Discards a Kiawe of his own. He's going to opt not to play the Kiawe right now. Okay. Oh, he already played Sycamore. Duh. That's why he didn't use the Kiawe, Josh. Alright, so Staryu will come down onto the field. Alright. We see Staryu go down. And what else? So just pass onto our turn. We took like a Fire Energy. Alright, so we'll use our Brooklyn Hill, grabbing a Volcanion-EX. Okay. We'll put a Choice Band on it. Fire Energy in the active. Part of me kind of just wants to Guzma, bring out the Volcanion. And I think that's what I'm going to do here. He's not really throwing a knockout turn 1. So I'm just going to Guzma here. Just bring out that bench Volcanion-EX. And just take a knockout. We'll have another Volcanion ready to go. We have a Fire Energy in our hand. So I think this is a fine play right now. We'll just use the Phoenix Burn for 180 damage. Take a knockout. And maybe I should have attached a Choice Band to the other Volcanion. But we do play those 4 Choice Bands, so not too bad. And there's a Super Rod Fire to go in our hand, which is great. Alright, so we will see a Staryu coming up. It does have the free retreat, which is really nice. But can our opponent find a way to retaliate? There's a Turtonator-GX coming down. His Ho-Oh GX of his own coming down. Fire Energy to the Volcanion. And what's the 1 card in his deck? It looks like he's just going to Brooklyn Hill for another Volcanion. Does he have a Sycamore? And there's an in, which is great for us. If we could find a Guzma and an Energy. There's a Float Stone and a Guzma. Oh my goodness. So once again, we're going to be able to take out his only real attacker. We're going to be Guzma. I'm going to bring up the Lele, put a Float Stone on it, and I'm going to keep the Choice Band ready for this Volcanion-EX. So we're going to see the Volcanion coming up, and we're going to see a swing here. There's an Ultra Ball. Going to discard 2 cards from his hands. I think what we're going to go for after is one of these Volcanions. We see a Rim Raid and a Fire Energy being discarded. Okay. And things are looking good for us. It's Guzma just being super clutch right now, just coming into our hand. We still have the Shaymin in there. We got more Leles. We got Sycamores. We have a bunch of outs still as well. So we see him Space Beacon, discarding Guzma. Gonna put 2 Fire Energies in his hand. Maybe use some Steam Up attack here. Just trying to chip away at this Ho-Oh GX. But where does he put these energies at with the Power Heater? Does he commit them to a Volcanions? Maybe the okay, so there's a Fury Belt going to the Ho-Oh GX. That's 230 HP. 8, 9, 10, 11. We could go for the knockout on the Ho-Oh GX. Just saying, hey, that's what you're trying to power up right now. He does need 4 energies, and it really take a knockout next turn. He'll have to commit. I think what I'm rather good is just take out a Volcanion. I really don't want to waste a bunch of resources. So I'm going to knock out the Volcanion with the Fire Energy. I think that's the correct play here. So we get a Sudowoodo. Do we put down the Sudowoodo or not? Alright, so I'm gonna Guzma first. Do we put down Sudowoodo? What is the benefit of that? He does have to get run, maybe rid of a Volcanion, maybe the Turtonator. I think I am just to thin our deck now, but right now we're gonna Guzma. I'm gonna bring up his Volcanion. I'm gonna bring up our Tapu Lele. Put a Float Stone on it. Put a Fire Energy on this Volcanion. We will retreat into the Ho-Oh GX. I am just going to put down the Sudowoodo just so if we get end, we don't draw into the Sudowoodo, which is really nice. And I might put I think I'm going to go ahead and put the Choice Band on the Volcanion as well. Just saying, hey, I don't want to draw to the Choice Band. I want to make sure I have all the correct, just draw to the right cards if he does end us. We are going to take 2 cards. Maybe we hit an Ultra Ball. We have the Shaymin still on deck. And he looks like he'll discard the baby Volcanion, which is great for us. And I'm going to Choice Band the Volcanion-EX. And right now, we are just going to go for the Phoenix Burn. Taking a knockout. Going down to 2 prize cards. Ho-Oh GX already taken 4 prize cards. There's a Fire Energy and an Ultra Ball, which will allow us to get a Shaymin. Maybe a Lele if there's another Guzma in our deck. So Volcanion will come up. And regardless, you got to think that we're in the driver's seat here. My opponent really can't retaliate. We see a Brooklyn Hill not going to grab anything. And turn 1 Kiawe is just so strong. We now have another Volcanion ready to go as well. There's a Stretcher. Going to put 3 cards in his deck maybe. We've already knocked out 2 Volcanions. Okay, no, it looks like Volcanion will just come down onto the bench. Alright, and he got rid of that Volcanion. So he really doesn't have a non-EX attacker here. Alright, so we see Space Beacon discarding the Float Stone. Gonna put 2 Fire Energy in his hand, and that is not good for my opponent, obviously. Oh, man. And there's a victory. And you gotta think we had this. We had Ultra Ball. I mean, I'm pretty sure we played 3 Guzmas, if I remember correctly. Let's look at our opponent's deck again. I mean, we got rid of that Volcanion, which is really nice. I think that might have been a misplay. He should have probably sent that up instead of discarding it. But he would have had to get rid of a Turtonator or a Volcanion, so it was definitely a rough situation. He's only playing the 1 Ho-Oh GX, and that is the big difference between our list and other Volcanion's list. Is United's list focused very, very hard on the Ho-Oh GX, while other lists are really still focused on the Volcanions. Alright, so let's see what else. Still got the Guzmas. He doesn't have the 1 Kiawe while we are playing the 3. And so let's look at this list one more time. And like I said, if we had another Lele in there, which I'm pretty sure we did have a 3rd Guzma in the deck. We did have Shaymin in there, I know that for sure. And as long as we hit a VS Seeker, we could have Guzma'd somebody up and then send up the Float Stone Lele, retreat back, and would have taken a knockout. Unfortunately, we did not see Salazzle-GX come into play, but still, you can see why Salazzle is so strong. And maybe, maybe you want to take out to Salazzle, make the deck a little bit more different. But Diabolical Claws is still a very amazing late game attack. If you can get down a Salandit, put energy on it, and get ready for Salazzle, you're going to be good to go. But there we go, guys. There's the Ho-Oh GX that Taku United did palette to get a 9th place, unfortunately. Oh, man, it's very sad that he barely missed the top 8. But, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty, bye.
Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.